Alright, it's been a while since I've done a news roundup for Assassin's Creed Origins, and obviously, as usual, the news is stacked up a little bit. There's not as much as there usually would be, although there's quite a bit to talk about regarding Assassin's Creed Origins, so without further ado guys, let's just get straight into today's news roundup video. Now, I just want to start off this video with something that I find that is pretty cool. It's not necessarily a piece of news, although it's interesting nonetheless. Basically, BAFTA has celebrated 10 years of Assassin's Creed and the launch of AC Origins on the 28th of September, and it's really cool. The fact that, BAFTA, the British Museum, have celebrated Assassin's Creed. Like 10 years ago, when it was some small thing that I saw in like a gaming magazine, I never thought it'd be this big. I just think it's really cool that Assassin's Creed has become this huge thing, that it's celebrated by such huge organizations, and that people like Ashraf Ismail and Jean Gusdon get to stand on stage and talk about the game they're creating. It's just really awesome. I just wanted to get that out of the way before we started all the news, because I appreciate the love that Assassin's Creed Origins has been getting, and I really do think that the game deserves all the love that it's been getting recently. Anyway, for the first piece of news we have today, a lot of you may have seen this already, it's the Discovery Tour for Assassin's Creed, and if you don't know what this is, it's a free update for Assassin's Creed Origins that's coming out next year called Discovery Tour, that will strip the game's story and combat entirely and turns the game into an interactive museum. It's currently slated for an early release in 2018, and Discovery Tour takes the assets and NPCs from the main game and curates them to form a series of interactive tours. One such tour, for example, shows a priest performing part of an ancient Egyptian mummification ritual on a corpse, while a voiceover explains the process in more detail. In the source's words, these tours themselves seem fairly substantial, with the game's UI estimating that experiencing all it has to say on mummification will take about 20 minutes. Completing tours unlocks a series of characters for use in the Discovery Tour, allowing you to explore the mode as by ex-wife Aya, Cleopatra, or even Julius Caesar, and it's also been said that many more characters will be available for you to control during this Discovery Tour mode. Seriously, like, fucking wow, this is insane. Like, many people were very worried that the database wasn't going to be returning in Assassin's Creed Origins, as there was none of it in the UI of the game. When you paused the game, there was nothing that said database or anything like that, and there just was no traces of the database around at all. But it seems like they've gone full in, and this is basically a new revamped version of the database. Like, they didn't have to do this at all. They could have just slapped together another stupid panel that said database and showed you massive walls of text about different parts of ancient Egypt, but they went to the extent of hiring ancient Egyptian historians that specialize in ancient Egypt and doing this interactive museum inside the database of Assassin's Creed Origins. Again, this is completely free as well. This isn't Ubisoft trying to, grab money out your wallet or squeeze you for more profit. This is them just creating it out of the kindness of their heart and wanting the experience to be all that more educating for people, which is what Assassin's Creed has been for a lot of people. Like, I remember in the early days of Assassin's Creed, I was really interested in all the historical time periods and characters that were shown in the game, and I wanted to find out more about them, but I couldn't. And with this feature, you can find out about anything you want about any of the characters in Assassin's Creed Origins. You can even play as some of the historical figures. This can only be a good thing for Assassin's Creed, and it really shows the dedication of the Black Flag team, because this is completely optional. Nothing's forced on you. They didn't even have to do this either. Oh, it's really great to see they're doing stuff like this and going to this extent to help educate people and keep people interested in the history of Assassin's Creed, and adding in features that are so in-depth and so extensive. Like, as you heard earlier, one of those interactive museum things, literally just one of them, is 20 minutes long, talking about the whole process of mummification. And there's so many different characters you can play as, so many different things you can learn about, and I'm really excited to see what this is like. When I first heard about it, I was like, don't really care that much, but reading about it now, it seems like it's an incredibly in-depth feature, and the fact that it's completely optional, completely free, and the fact that Ubisoft and the developers at Black Flag team didn't have to do this makes it all that more better. Like, this is just a completely optional feature. Sorry if I keep repeating myself here, I'm just really pleasantly surprised by this actually. This is the first time I'm kind of reading about it properly, and it does sound really great. I'm definitely going to be checking it out in the game, obviously when it comes out in early 2018, so that'll be a nice little update for Assassin's Creed Origins, and I think that'll be around the time that the next DLC comes out. I'm not quite sure, but this obviously isn't going to be the only DLC we're getting for Origins. This is just a free update, and obviously people that got the season pass, there'll be other stuff that comes out as well for Assassin's Creed Origins, like the main DLC that will be coming out, which I can't wait to hear something about, because I feel like it's going to be really big. But yeah, this interactive museum feature is going to be really cool, and I'll definitely be covering it on my channel when it goes live on Assassin's Creed Origins. Alright, so now we're going to be talking about all things modern day. So if you don't want the modern day spoiled at all, there's not going to be any spoilers that are too big here, but if you don't want to know absolutely anything about the modern day, it's best to skip the video to the next section now and not watch this bit, because this bit will be talking about the modern day and stuff that's been leaked recently, and it's pretty interesting, so let's get right into it. So first of all, I want to talk about something that many people think is the modern day image, but I'm going to be giving you the reasons why it really isn't a modern day image whatsoever. I was having a conversation on Twitter with some people in the community about this image, and many people thought it was a picture of the modern day protagonist, but it really isn't. And the main reason why is because it's a piece of promotional art for the Ancient Egypt Discovery Tour that we talked about earlier, and I really don't think they'd choose to put the modern day character onto this poster or this piece of promotional art. What I think it is, the character is meant to represent the player, because as you can see, it doesn't necessarily look male or female, and you can't really determine an age. I feel like it's just meant to represent a person, which is the player, so it could literally be anybody. I really don't think it's the modern day protagonist. I don't think that Ubisoft or Assassin's Creed team would choose to promote the main character of the game on the Discovery Tour. It really doesn't make sense, considering it's a utility made for the players of the game and not for the main protagonist of the game, if you get what I'm saying. I really don't think this is the main character. I don't think we're going to get any information about the modern day before the game comes out. At least I really hope not. I want the modern day to be completely a surprise, maybe a teaser here or there, but don't reveal anything too significant whatsoever, especially not the character we're going to be playing as. For sure, don't do that. I want to be able to meet the character in-game for the first time. Okay, so now we've gotten that out of the way, I want to talk about an actual piece of modern day information that we got. It's a piece of concept art, again like the last time, but it is pretty interesting and reveals more about what we're going to be doing in the modern day. As you can see, this piece of concept art comes from the concept art book that you get with the Dawn of the Creed Legendary Edition of Assassin's Creed Origins, and as you can see right at the bottom of this page, it says present day in big white letters. This was actually shown in an unboxing of the legendary Dawn of the Creed edition of Assassin's Creed Origins, and as the guy was flipping through the pages, we see this clear representation of some form of van with a tarpaulin over it. Not too dissimilar from the last piece of concept art we got for the modern day, this seems to also be taking place in the desert. A theory that we had yesterday was that we could possibly be playing as a group of archaeologists looking for certain things in ancient Egypt, and we stumble across a first seeable precursor site, and maybe something happens around with the story and we end up meeting the old characters. Either that, or it's Abstergo that are stationed in Egypt and they're trying to get the Ankh of Eden, or the piece of Eden that's in Assassin's Creed Origins, or the apple, considering the apple is one of the main pieces of Eden in AC Origins. It makes sense. It could be Abstergo there with all their technology and their vans there with covered with a tarpaulin, but in all fairness, if they're such a huge company, why would they need to put a tarpaulin over their van unless they weren't allowed to be there? Which kind of points to the fact that it's more rebellious people that are there and they have to cover up what they're doing, which could mean it's probably assassins, or as I said earlier, a group of archaeologists that stumble across the assassins and Templar battle. I don't know what's going to be happening. We'll find more about the modern day when we get the game, obviously, and this is just a cool piece of concept art, and it shows shit's going on in the modern day, and we have concept art for the present day. It's a playable modern day again because there's concept art there for it, and I really can't wait to see what was going to be happening in the modern day. So here we have a few more pieces of concept art, and it's showing us a few of the bosses that are going to be in the game. As you can see on the right, there's some sort of gladiator guy with a huge mallet, and we've seen him in the trailer before. He's a boss in one of the gladiator arenas, and I suppose the guy on the left with the mask is either an Order of Ancients member, or he's just some sort of skilled acrobat or something like that. He looks like he's going to be quite a fast moving enemy, although he might not even be an enemy at all. I have no fucking idea, but considering he's in the same section of this book as the other bosses, I reckon he is some sort of boss specific to a gladiator arena. I do like the design of these two guys. They look really, really nice. Very reminiscent of something you'd maybe see in Dark Souls or something like that, but I do really like the design of these two bosses, and I can't wait to see more of this concept art book because it is interesting to look at. Next up here we have an image of one of the elephants that you'll be able to ride in the game. Obviously he's got all his like armor on, he's got stuff on his back where the archers can shoot from, and I'm really interested how these are gonna fucking work. Like, are we gonna be able to ride them and like steer them around and shit? Like, what's gonna go on there? I feel like it might just be for a certain mission, or maybe you'll even be able to get them in the open world. I have no idea, but they look pretty cool. I'm very interested to see more of these guys, but it's just concept art showing that the elephants are in the game, and it's definitely something that we're going to be able to use. This next picture shows a guy standing in front of a huge crowd of people. Maybe this is some concept art for some form of assassination, although they have removed social stealth from the game, so I don't really see what the crowd would do for you because there's no blending anymore, which is really fucking stupid, by the way. I don't see why they took social stealth out of it. But there's a huge crowd, and there's also a guy talking to the huge crowd. Maybe that's an assassination that will be in the game, but then again, you can literally do your assassinations in any way you want. Even if there is the guy and sometimes he might be on the stage talking to people, he could be somewhere completely different depending on which playthrough you're doing. Like, he could be in a city or something. We have no idea what's going on with the assassinations, but maybe this is a representation of what one of the assassinations could turn out like. So this final piece of concept art is probably the most interesting. On the left there, you have a picture of the White House of Alexandria. You know, you have some Egyptian landscapes, some concept art of Cleopatra, but if you look in the bottom right, you can see fire, and then the Lighthouse of Alexandria is like glowing green. Oh, what the fuck's going on there? Why is it green? Maybe it's just how the picture was taken. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on there because, you know, it's clearly meant to be a fire, not some fucking green flame in the Lighthouse of Alexandria. Then if you look to the right of the lighthouse, you can see lots of fire, which would kind of point towards the fire of the Library of Alexandria, which I believe will definitely be in Assassin's Creed Origins. We've also seen it in the trailer as well. You can see Caesar standing next to Bayek, and they're kind of watching the flames. I don't really know what's going on there. I don't know if Bayek helped set fire to the Library of Alexandria. I really hope that's not the case, because that would be really odd. But there's lots of flames. There's only one event that can really have that much flames in the area of Alexandria that's notable during the period of time that Assassin's Creed Origins set, and that's definitely the burning of the Library of Alexandria, which I called a while ago. I really thought it was definitely going to be in the game, but I hope it's some huge set piece. Like, I really hope it's some cool set piece that happens and you have to like escape the burning building or something like that. That'd be really fucking cool. But, you know, why is the lighthouse green? Why is it glowing? Why is it doing that? I have no idea, but it's glowing green. Anyway, that was some really nice concept art for Assassin's Creed Origins. There's some really nice looking stuff in there, and also a lot of informative stuff that we can look at too. I've noticed concept art has a lot of stuff that you can look at that tells you stuff about the game, so it's pretty useful in that regard. But those are the only things of note that I found when looking at the concept art that was shown in the unboxing of the Dawn of the Creed Legendary Edition. Okay, so this last thing I want to talk about is regarding legacy outfits in Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, we've known for quite some time that legacy outfits such as Aguilar's outfit from the Assassin's Creed movie will be in Assassin's Creed Origins as a kind of an extra thing. It's been in all the other Assassin's Creed games, so why did they take it out in this one? And Center Strain has confirmed today on the Kill Connor Club actually that legacy outfits will be returning in Assassin's Creed Origins, but something that he said was a little bit different. He said there's a more meaningful way of getting them in the game. So what does this mean? Like, what's the more meaningful way? Is it legacy missions? Is it legacy missions? Because if it's legacy missions, I'll be really happy with that. I really As much as I'd like it to be legacy missions, I really doubt it would be that. Like, imagine having all of the assassins' outfits and one mission playing as each of the other assassins to get the outfit. Like, as cool as it sounds, I just can't imagine it happening, because it's too much work to go through. But then again, if they did do it, I'd be so fucking happy. You don't even understand how. Oh my, it'd be so fucking good. Although it does sound good the way Center Strain describes it. You know, there's a more meaningful way of getting them. You don't just get them from the Ubisoft store or anything like that. You have to get them in game, and there's a more meaningful way of doing it. It kind of sounds like it could be cool. It's better than what we had before anyway. So as long as it's a step in the right direction, then we'll get our legacy missions at some point. Speaking of Center Strain, he was actually able to record over 5 hours of Assassin's Creed Origins gameplay when he was at the Ubisoft event in San Francisco, so you can be expecting gameplay from him in the next few days. I'm pretty sure the embargo might lift on like the 4th of October or something like that. I really don't know, but obviously 5 hours of footage is a lot to edit down into a few videos, so be patient with him and it'll be up on his channel very soon, so you can go check that out, and it's going to be some awesome AC Origins gameplay, and I'm going to give my opinions on it. I won't use his gameplay unless it's okay with him, but I'll give my opinions on it, and I'll kind of tell everyone what we had a little look at when the gameplay comes out. Anyway, that's the end of the video, guys. I just wanted to do a little bit of a roundup on all the news we've got recently on Assassin's Creed Origins, as I normally do when loads of new news kind of stacks up over time. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Fucking hell. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe for more gaming news, content, and reviews in the future. And also comment down in the comment section below telling me what you think of all the news today. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.